What is up, everybody? Shrimp TCG here. Today, or rather yesterday evening, I won a Summoner Skirmish, my first Summoner Skirmish, and I won it with Annie. I'm super happy that I managed to get first place, securing myself a buy for Bologna, and hopefully the buy is going to come into use. I still wanted to make this deck profile, even though the deck is kind of like solved more or less. Pretty much every build, is more or less the same. But still, I just want to do this for my channel, and I will also be doing a pack opening right after the deck profile. So yeah, got my Blitzcrank promo, pretty cool. This little circle here on the bottom is really nice. Like if it's going to focus it, right, because it's shiny. That's really cool. There we go. Right, and the same goes for this Tryndamere, but Tryndamere is just an attendance promo. But still, I didn't get the playmat yet. Hopefully we get it soon. They said that they just didn't receive it yet, but the moment they get it, they will give it to me. Yeah, so we played Annie, ready to runes at the end of the turn. Obviously the stubborn chosen champion, just because it is way better than you might want it to be. All right, let's just go into the deck profile. So first of all, we are playing 3 Traveling Merchant. Pretty simple. One thing I really like about Annie is that she's not really playing anything that isn't a 3 of more or less. Pretty much every single thing is a 3 of, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, 3 Merchant, very standard. And obviously we can do it without 3 Poros. Kind of mandatory at this point, especially because Kaisa is still very present. There was only, I think, there wasn't many Kaisas in that. I think most of it was Annie and Yi, and then I think like Victor and the Kaisa. Those were the decks that I saw. 3 deckhand, just super simple. Triple Vi. Can't really go wrong with Vi. Like I said, the deck is pretty much solved, so I'm just going to go through these. But I do want to show you guys what I played specifically. 3 Kaisa, even though this card is super expensive, if you're playing Annie, you do have to play 3 Kaisa, I think. I just don't see a way to not play 3 Kaisa with this deck. And then the same goes for the triple Darius. Card is just way too good, right? So yeah, the bread and the butter of the deck is the triple Scrap Heap in the main. Some people we're considering citing this, and I was one of those people for a little bit, just thinking because if there was like a reason for me not to play this in the main. But realistically, there's a lot of Annies out there. Most people will be playing Zon Warrens with this in the deck, so it's just not really, there just isn't really a point for me to not having this in the main deck, because the value is just way too high, right? Plus it's like a free side out game 2 and 3, so no real reason not to play it. Yeah, so we played 3 stacked deck, 3 cleave, very simple, and I decided to run only 1 gust in the main. This is basically card number 39, so yeah, nothing too crazy. And then more 3 others, yeah, so 3 Ride the Wind, I need a 3rd hollow of that. 3 Flash, yeah, you have to play Flash at 3. If you don't have 3 Flash, I don't think you should be playing Annie realistically. I think that it's just way too strong in Annie currently. I'm not quite sure how good this card is going to be in set 2. Maybe in like Ezreal and potentially Aurelia it's going to be fine, but other than that, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. And then 3 Fighter Flight, just super simple. And then the last 2 cards are double Void Seeker. So I didn't play Falling Star. I think Falling Star is a bit bait in Annie because it's just a little too costly. Something such as Rebuke, for example, is way better. And even that I don't main deck. I decided to rather main deck 1 Gust over the Rebuke. Just because Gust is much better at saving your own units. Because pretty much everything that you can save with Rebuke is savable by Gust except for Darius and Kaisa, right? And like a big might vibe, but you get what I mean. And realistically, one of the best things about Gust is also that you can put Annie back into your hand, so that you're not really afraid of using her early, and then potentially not being able to use her later on. But it's really useful. I'm gonna do sideboard next. So I cited double gust. You know, you want this. 2 rebukes, very, very important. These are all super standard. Like I said, people sometimes main deck one of these over the fight or flight, but like realistically, I just wanted to main 2 ofs, or sorry, side 2 ofs. So yeah, nothing completely out of the ordinary over there. And then just in case we do end up playing against an Aurora, I decided to side deck double fading memories. It's also decent against a Master Yi because it can hit a card at the battlefield, rather a unit at a battlefield, and it's just, you know, not going to allow them to hold. Giving a temporary is really, really useful, right? And then the last 2 cards are going to be 2 Dravens. This is mostly for the mirror match, right? Realistically, it's mostly for the mirror match. I guess it's fine into Yi as well because it can be like a big unit. And mostly the game plan against Yi, what I would have is to try and score early, not allow them to score, and then once you're ahead in points by like 2 or 3, so that you're a little bit safe, like a turn ahead in points, I guess would be really, really good. You just try to hold the one battlefield because their attack is not nearly as scary as their defense, right? So yeah, it was either this or Brenier, but I think Brenier is worse. I tried it out on a skirmish this previous week, and I mean, it's fine. It won me a game, but I think that the amount of times it actually comes up just isn't enough for me to consider not playing this Draven. I'm not a big Draven fan, and I very rarely actually cite him in, but yeah, you can. It's fine against Yi, like I said. For the rune split, we're doing a very standard 6-6. So yeah, 6 purple, 6 red, 6 fury, and 6 chaos. And then for our battlefields, it's also quite normal. You know, we have the Arena's Greatest, Dreaming Tree, and Zonwarns. Yeah, always playing Zonwarns on turn 1, Dreaming Tree usually when you go second, and Arena's Greatest when you go first. That's kind of like how I do it. But yeah. All right. That's it. Super standard, like I said. We'll start doing set 2 decks more now. But let's go into the opening of the packs that I got now. All right, so we have 3 promo packs to open, and we have 4 normal boosters to open. I'm going to open the promo packs first. Maybe we can hit a GG Easy Teemo, but we'll see what we get. Hopefully we get something good, yeah. These packs are always kind of annoying to open, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of these, but, you know. All right, so first of all, we have Stealthy Pursuer, Consult the Past Hall, that's pretty good, and a Wielder of Water. That's pretty cool, I guess. Nothing too crazy, still, you know. All right, that's not bad. We have a Vengeance, a Blazing Scorcher, and a Chaos Rune. Yeah, happy with the Chaos Rune. I like these runes. I don't know. People are really saying that set 2 runes are better. But for me, it's like 50-50. Some of them I think are better than from set 1. Realistically, right? Okay, Ravenbloom Student's pretty cool. Challenge is also pretty nice. And a Pouty Poro. Nice. We only need 1 more so that we'll have 3 hollows here. Alright, now the actual packs. You see, this is the issue that I'm having, is that they don't really open that well. As someone who's opened a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, those were way simpler to open. Alright, Sentry, Sunlit Guardian, something like this. Smoke Screen, Pack a Cub, Fighter Flight is nice, but you know, nothing too crazy. Daring Poro, Spoils of War, Spectrometron. We have a Targon Speak as a battlefield. First is a Hollow Rebuke. That's really, really good. We gotta put that in my deck, definitely. Then we have a Jinx and a Lee Sin Legend. An Order Rune. Okay, nothing from the first pack. The Hollow Rebuke's nice, though. I'm happy with that. Okay. So we have Stand United, Cleave. Hopefully get some holo cleaves. That would be really good. Lecturing Yordle. First Mate. Stealthy Pursuer, the second one. Call the Weak. Annoying card. Stormclaw. Dangerous Duo. Merchant. Maybe even a holo merchant would be nice. We have Targon's. Terrifian Warcamp as our battlefield. Dangerous Duo, holo. Our first rare is Overt Operation, and then we have another rare, which is the Kaisa Evolutionary, and a Mind Rune. Nice. And Phases of a Turn. Really, really good. 2 more packs. Like I said, I'm not expecting too much. Hopefully we get something, but at least one thing would be nice. Magma Worm, Orb of Regret, Defy, Gust, they're called a Weak, Annoying Card, Challenge, Morbid Return, Unyielding Spirit, Treasure Trove, Raging Soul, Orb of Regret, holo, second one that I have right now. Kiana's nice, that's really good, and Progress Day, nothing too crazy. Ooh, and a Chaos Rune, okay, a Showcase Chaos Rune. Wow, okay, so we're getting 2 Chaos Runes. I guess here we can like make a comparison with these two, right? So it's kind of cool. Yeah, that's really, really good. The lighting I know is not the greatest. I'm sorry because of the ring camera, but like still pretty good. I'm a big fan of that. All right, so that's I guess our first real hit. These two, and then Kiana's nice. You know, I think this is like my 5th Kiana though. All right, let's put all of this here for the last booster that we have. Second. All right, last booster back. So we have, all right, sorry, Buccaneer, Clockwork Keeper, Disintegrate, Forge, Pit Rookie, Undercover Agent, Symbol of the Solari, Reinforce, Navori Fight. When you hold here, buff a unit here. All right, that's interesting. I don't think I ever did that. Saw that. Treasure Trove and King's Effect. All right, next card is boom. Kog'Maw. Nothing crazy, and a Mind Rune. All right, so we did get some things. Nothing too crazy. I guess these 3 are the only things that really are worth seeing. Well, the Rebuke might be something, and I'm happy with the Boro as well. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully it's gonna go even better for me in Bologna. Maybe the buy is gonna really help me out. Hopefully the buy is gonna help me out. And I will see you guys with the next deck profiles. I'm gonna start doing set 2 deck profiles now. Just gonna have to print out some proxies because I'm testing online only so far. But until then, I hope you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later.